This is Morten from English TV. I am here at Hall 17, which everybody knows is HP's booth. And I'm together with two very interesting gentlemen, Carlos and Francois Martin. We will be talking about something that is very, very important. But before we do that, I just want to introduce very briefly, we're going to talk about sustainability. It's a word that is being used at almost every booth you can see here. But is it enough? And let me start with you, Francois. When you look at sustainability as a topic, why is it at all something that we should be concerned about as grown-up men?
So sustainability is important because we need to make significant progress in the way we print and the way we pack goods. And we want to leave the planet in a better shape than the one we have today. So that's why we need really to tackle it seriously in the print and packaging industry. As you know, 40% of the plastic produced every year, it comes from packaging.
I think that we will have time to dig into a lot of details, but I would like to have, let's say, a more like an umbrella perspective to begin with, because I agree with you. We need to deliver the planet in a better shape to our future generation. That is essentially why we need to do that. Do you have kids?
Yeah, 2 daughters, and indeed we want to leave a better planet. So this is part of my role in HP, head of sustainability for industrial print.
You also have kids?
Yes, I have 3, and they are all the 3 of them concerned, and they don't see enough changes, at least not fast enough.
Yeah.
And when I was touring on the old drupa, I am an industry consultant, so I looked at all the different exhibitors. All of them are mentioning sustainability. But most of the time, at the end, it is about waste management, energy consumption, and to produce recyclable goods. But I don't believe it's enough. So we need now to find ways to move talk into actions. And this is what is required. And then we need also, that's the second message I want to convey, that the printers and the converters, they certainly can do things better. But most of the decisions are taken by brand owners. Some of them are coming on the show, but they have today the means to deploy better type of packaging. And if you want, I can give you a few examples.
We actually spoke about visiting a supermarket just to see how much better it could be done. Carlos, you work with HP as the head of all about sustainability with HP. How difficult is this agenda?
It's complex. It's complex especially because it involves many stakeholders. So the ecosystem is not only the OEMs, but it's also including the brands, even the consumers, and on the other side, the media manufacturers, the recyclers. So very complex ecosystem where not everybody is aligned exactly in the same definition of sustainability.
And that leads me to one of the things that we spoke about before the camera was turned on, because one thing, we agree that we need to do more than we do today. And I think that one of the things that you put on your walls, which is not like HP branded, but is more like a generic kind of statement, is that from talking about to do something, right? It's like action is required. And I was just thinking, when you said this, the last thing, Carlos, about the different players in the industry, if we look at the measures today, are they equal?
Yeah, they are not equal, and it's not clear who is the owner either. No, so I think. When we look only from the OEM perspective, we looked about doing our presses better, more efficient, less energy. But then we realized that the media is very important on the mix. No? So we need to engage with the media. What the brands require to the converters is very important. So we need to talk with the brands to specify the right sustainable media and the right sustainable print. So, yeah.
I was visiting a large converter in Germany not so long time ago, and it was for me it was actually a little bit frightening because I think it plays into what you're talking about, Francois. Basically, the people in the printing company, even though that they could offer sustainable solutions, they say the purchase departments of the brand owners didn't allow the knowledgeable people from the converter to talk to them because they were afraid that it got more expensive. Can we do this without consequences on prices?
I think yes. The problem it is that there is a tendency in the printing and packaging industry to not change things very quickly. I will just give you an example. Most of the exhibitors that we have here, both conventional or digital, everyone knows that if you print with the extended color gamut, the 7 basic colors, you can create 95% of the Pantone. So why do we still continue to do ink mixing? This is just one example. Another example that I like to use is there are, when you go shopping, many products that are still in rigid plastic, like olives. But there are ways today, if you go to the Bob's booth, and as an example, you can find paper-based substrate, fiber-based substrate with barrier protection to pack the goods. So technology on drupa everywhere has made significant progress the last 10 years. And recently even more. But now it's about everyone to wake up and to make a change. I know it's easier to say than to do, no doubt about that. But without more pressure on the brand owners, nothing will happen in a timely manner. That's a little bit the challenge. And when you look at we are on the booth of HP, they also have the capability to print on sustainable substrate with digital capabilities like the HP 200K for pouches. But again, the acquisition of such pouches will only be driven by the brand owners, because at the end, the only one putting money on the tables are the brand owners.
And Carlos, I mean, when you look at your work, I mean, I guess that, of course, the easier part, if there's anything easy, is always to start with your own products and your own, let's say, energy consumption and consumption of water and your impact, basically. But if you have to think that into future product development, even that is not always easy, right?
It's never easy. But it's true that what we are doing now is moving everything into the data-driven decision. So now sustainability is data. We measure where we are, we set goals of where we want to be, and then we are taking action. And we're very good on executing plans. So if we have a goal and we commit that we want to go to the goal, we are moving forward. And this is what has changed in the last few years. So we have very specific goals, and we are driving all our efforts to that goals.
One of the things I can't help think about is that one thing is that the OEMs, and we, as also you say, Francois, need to have the brand owners let's say taking more responsibility for this. But I can't help think about that legislation, of course, drives a lot of things into this as well, right? I mean, we will look at the manifesto in a second, but the legislation, does that drive things faster or slower than technical possible?
Yeah, my personal experience is that consumers are the first that generate the sensitivity about the topic, then brands react to the consumers, brands push down requirements, and regulations comes the last one. And this is typically has happened in all the regulations on the world, and sustainability is no different. So I think they are the last ones, so the demand need to come first, and it's coming, and regulations are coming and are forcing the laggards, no? But the brands and the OEMs need to anticipate.
And you're so eager to show a manifesto that you have started writing a little bit. Let's talk about it, Francois.
So this is something that, I mean, I know Carlos for many years, and this is something that we have been discussing independently of any company, because we both believe that the industry can only progress through standardization and working together. So it's important to have all the ones producing equipment, Heidelberg, KBA, and many others. And what we believe it is that we need to measure things and to focus as energy consumption, waste, and recyclability. We need to track the energy consumption and to grow the usage of renewable electricity and so on. We can reduce waste by having digital inspections throughout the production lines. Because today there is still a lot of factories operating without proper quality control, and then guess what? A mistake happened, and then you stop the press too late, and in the meantime you have wasted 2,000 linear meters of whatever. Of course, we need to change to source certified substrates. We need to push press operators to be more sensitive to the amount of waste they are generating, and we need to measure it. And today we have opportunities with software to measure the amount of waste. And then also, if you have a very old press, not equipped with UV lamp, as an example, or if you have an old price that could be potentially replaced by digital, that will also trigger significant savings. So we have created a manifesto that says more sustainable printing production is possible. And this is something that we would like the entire industry to agree on. And Carlos is behind that concept, behind that project. And we hope that in the very near future, not in the next 10 years, but in the next 10 months, we could all sit together, all the key players, the Bobs, the Heidelberg, the KBA, the Durs, the Fuji, the Canon, the Konica Minolta, and so on, and the ones in finishing equipment, the Müller, Martini, and Hunkeler, and so on. We need all to sit and agree, what do we want to measure, what do we want all together to commit on, and then we sign it. We sign it all together, and once it is done, then we can guide everyone into one single direction with the aim to leave a better planet to the next one.
And Carlos, I guess that when you have a manifesto like this, it is also, I mean, sometimes you can talk about something that is so difficult to actually understand, right? But now when you start putting words on it, where you can basically say this is at least a starting point for an industry, is maybe something that also makes your life a little bit easier, because if you could find people in similar positions like yours in the both competing and collaborating companies, then there is a potential in actually do something that is significant for the world, right?
Yes. In the end, sustainability is a pre-competitive topic. So all the companies have the same goal, all have the same intention. So it's a topic that I believe collaboration could be way better than what we have today. We have conversations already with these companies. This manifesto is a draft, so it's our first version to just call to action to the industry to come together and start drafting the real one that we want to commit and sign.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it, either of you, but that's more of curiosity, because one of the things I remember from when I was young in the industry, and that was when you had like water-based coatings. You thought of that as being good, but it's actually the coating, what it consists of, that is the thing. I think we see at drupa a lot of companies to talk about, let's say, water-based ink. It doesn't say anything about what is in the ink. So how difficult is it also to I'm not talking about greenwashing, but how difficult is it to actually communicate trustworthy when it comes to de-inking, when it comes to the components, to environmental impact of what we produce? I mean, do you have any opinions about that? Carlos?
Yeah. I think sustainability is a complex topic. It's deeply technical, and it will not get better. So this is to start with. No? But it's true that there are now certain metrics that are the North Stars. No? And then we see CO2, for example. This will be the North Star, and it will simplify a lot of the conversations. The technical conversations will continue, and there will be one vendor with one technology that is better or worse, regulations that will be changing. But and this will be the normal business. But we need to now have a common North Star that help everybody advance in the right direction.
I guess you agree on that, right?
Yes, I agree completely. But to answer your original questions on the inks and the composition of the inks, we have seen some great progress, like in large format, where I worked many years before. We moved away from solvent-based printing to water-based printing. And that has a significant change. I remember holes on drupa where it was a bad smell. Now it's gone. And if you look at water-based inks or water-based coating, it is much more better than solvent. So we see progress compared to what it was. But where we can also make great progress is the amount of ink you put on a page or on a package. And there are many easy ways to reduce the amount of ink on a given document or on a given box. But it has to be linked to the ones that are designing it. And you have also new printing modes where you can form an image just using 3 colors without the black. So CMY and no K. So by doing that, you also reduce the amount of ink and the impact on environment. Same on embellishment. You can have different means to embellish, but you can also ask yourself, is embellishment necessary? For some commodity goods, and that's again a personal comment, I'm not convinced that the embellishment is a must. Eventually in perfume, you will tell me this is part of the consumer experience. Why not? But there are many, many little things that really could be done. I was talking at the beginning of our conversation about the extended color gamut usage. That technology is almost more than 10 years old, but its adoption is very low. Now people start to change their mind. I must say I'm quite optimist, but as we said with Carlos, there is a need to accelerate the pace.
Well, with that said, I have a little comment here for the end. First of all, gentlemen, I want to thank you very, very much for this time and for this conversation. Very important, of course. And then I also would like to say to people that watches this, what we're talking about here is not just about making industry standards and let it be up to brand owners and to the OEMs to actually do something here. This is something where you really have to sit down and think for yourself, what can you do in order to have less impact on the environment, in order to deliver our planet in a better shape than it is in right now. So thank you very much.